What is going on, everybody? This is Gainz Gaming. Today we are talking about Philip II, the brand new leadership commander that is going to be coming into Rise of Kingdoms very shortly. Now, this commander just blows my mind because not only is he going to be amazing, but also he's a leadership commander, which they've kind of done away with for the last couple months in Rise of Kingdoms. Like, they've been like, yep, we're not going to, release any more leadership commanders in the game because they've sucked in the past and nobody invested into them. And now they're back. And they're better than ever before. So we are going to be going over his skills and talk about what I think he's going to look like in Rise of the Kingdoms, how good he's going to be, if you should invest into him, and more. So let's start off with his first skill. He has an AoE with 1000 rage cost. For the next 2 seconds, up to 5 nearby allied or friendly troops, including this commander's troop, will take 10% less damage and deal 20% more damage. The effects of the skill are multiplied by 2 for this commander's troop, meaning you are taking 20% less damage and dealing 40% more damage. That is insane. That is so much damage that you're doing and so much less damage than what you are taking. So the only downside here is that this is a fully buffing skill. You are not doing any damage from his first skill, but you are taking a lot less damage and dealing a ton more damage. And so for the next 2 seconds, meaning your secondary commander is going to be benefiting from this skill. So you absolutely need to have him as the primary. Otherwise, your commander is not going to be getting that 40% more damage, because I am assuming that this 40% more damage is counting for the commander's troop, meaning your main and your secondary troop. But we're going to have to see that in testing, if it's 40% for Philip and 20% for your secondary, or if it's 40% for the entire unit. We'll have to see what exactly that looks like when it gets into game. Now, his second skill, while this commander's troop is on a map, their cavalry units gain 35% attack, their infantry units gain 35% defense, and holy crap, their archer units gain 35% health, and your troop gains 20% march speed. That is insane. Like, that is just absolutely mind-blowing how good that skill is. So you could do a lot of different things with this. You could run 3 different unit types. You could go full cavs and get attack. You can go full infantry and get more defense. You can go archers and get more health. But above all, you're getting 20% march speed. Now, this is going to be important later on, and let's go on to the third skill. If this commander's troop contains at least 2 different unit types, just like I said, it gains 15% more march speed and takes 15% less damage. So this is incentivizing you to use more than 1 unit. However, if their troop contains only 1 unit type, you deal 30% more damage. Like, what is this? That is just insane how good that is. 30% more damage if you have 1 troop. So immediately, what does this tell me? You're using this as an archer. 100%. You're using this as an archer. 35% more health for your archers and 30% more damage by using all archers, plus potentially 40% more damage from your active skill for your active skill on your archer. Like, even if it's the 20%, you're getting 20% more damage there. You're getting 30% more damage here, potentially 70% total damage from those 2 skills alone, plus 35% health, plus 20% march speed. That is insane. This is honestly too strong in my opinion, and we are not even to the 4th skill yet, or the expertise. So let's keep going. His 4th skill, whenever this commander's troop launches a basic attack, it has a 10% chance to deal direct damage to up to 3 nearby enemy troops, damage factor 800, and every additional target reduces the damage dealt by 15%, and reduce their rage by 100 with the 3-second cooldown. That cooldown is nothing, by the way. 3 seconds is nothing. Reducing their rage by 100 is crazy. Plus AoE to 3 different units, 10% chance. Like, that's just absurd. And a 3-second cooldown, like I said, is basically nothing. So this skill is fantastic. Obviously not a ton of damage. I'm assuming this is going to be in a fan shape, kind of like Sun Tzu, for example. But I mean, 800 damage factor, like I said, not a ton, but AoE and reducing their rage by 100. Obviously, that can be better at some times than others. But with rage overload, reducing the person's rage is very good. Because essentially, I can't remember off the top of my head what the most rage you can gain in 1 turn is, but let's just say it's 200, right? And you have a ton of extra rage in your skill tree, and your troop gains 290 rage in that turn. This 100 rage reduction does not bring you from 290 to 190. What it does is it reduces that 290 back to 200, which is the most you can get in 1 round, and then the 100 rage reduction is then applied. So instead of 190, you're really only getting 100. So That is how good this skill is. That is how good rage reduction is in Rise of Kingdoms, because there is a rage cap on how much rage you can gain in one turn. And so rage reduction is extremely strong because when people overrage, they reduce back to what the maximum is, and then rage reduction is then applied. So if you didn't know that, that's why rage reduction is so good in the open field, is because like you can't just overrage and then basically get rid of that rage reduction. It still applies, and it's just applied after the rage is brought back down to the maximum. So this is very, very solid. Plus the damage factor helps as well. Now, again, still haven't even gotten to the expertise, and he's still, in my opinion, a must-use commander. But his expertise, whenever this commander uses their active skill, they have a 40% chance to use their active skill a second time. What? And then whenever the other commander in the troop uses their active skill, they have a 20% chance to use their active skill a second time. This skill can trigger once every 7 seconds. Okay, guys, so let's talk about how leadership is back, baby. Leadership is back. I don't know if it was ever here to begin with, but leadership, this is a must-use commander. I am assuming this is going to be on the Wheel of Fortune. If this is so good in the open field, there's nothing here with rallying. There's nothing here with garrison. Everything is field related, which is also very, very good. But this then tells me this will be a Wheel of Fortune commander. I'm assuming, unless there's another way to unlock him, but I think it's a fair assumption that he's going to be on the Wheel of Fortune unless we hear differently. But his expertise is just insane. I mean, what makes Joan of Arc Prime so good, what makes Herman Prime so good, is the ability to use a active skill a second time. And that's exactly what this is doing. Obviously, 20% chance is not insane, and 40% chance is not insane, but it's still chance. And you're telling me there's a chance, right? Dumb and Dumber quote. But this is still absurd. This is still insanely good. And in my opinion, I think they did too much. Like, just being real, I think they were like, well, nobody's using leadership. Nobody's using leadership besides the Mega Whales with 7 marches. And they're using Trajan. And that's pretty much it. So we need to find something that's going to bring everybody to use leadership. And this is the commander that's going to do it. Philip II, most people are going to be using him, in my opinion. And like, I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do for my second Archer March. And I am really leaning toward Philip now after seeing this. I mean, like I said, with this skill right here, this skill, 35% more archer health. And when you use full archers, you're going to be gaining 30% more damage. That is broken. You can't beat that. I mean, yes, you can have an archer march that's going to give you like pure archer stats, but this is already giving you pure archer stats, plus 30% more damage. If you had an archer commander that one of their skills was gaining 35% health, gaining 20% march speed, and gaining 30% all damage, like, people would instant max that in a second. Not even like, if they weren't even an archer player, they'd be like, yep, I'm using that commander. That is so good. That is how good this commander is. And I don't think you use this for cavalry. Maybe you use this for infantry if you need another, a buffer for an infantry march, but you absolutely use this for archers. Gaining the extra march speed is also just a chef's kiss. I mean, obviously, march speed is an issue with archers, so gaining that 20% march speed is a huge, huge, huge bonus. Plus the health, plus the all damage. Like, I can't even find a weak spot on this commander besides the fact that his active skill does not do damage, but he still does damage in his 4th skill. And then he also has a chance to do his active skill again, which is going to buff your march and 5 of your other marches. And you're going to be doing a second active skill with your secondary commander. So say you put like Zooch behind him, say you put Herman, say you put Boudica. Any of those commanders, they're going to be firing off a second time. Now, in my opinion, like, if you put Herman Prime behind Philip, like, think about that. Herman Prime can do his active skill again, just like Philip II can make him do his active skill again. So you could theoretically have Herman Prime firing off his active skill like 3 times in a turn, 3 or 4 times in a turn. Like, that is so broken. I can't even explain it. It is so broken. Now, obviously, we have to see some testing to see how this first skill is going to go. Because if you're going to deal 40% more damage from your secondary commander, I mean, I think he's a must max commander regardless. But I think that makes him like a must use for every single player in the game, 100%. And especially if he's a Wheel of Fortune commander. If he's a Mightiest Governor commander, that really sucks because that means only a small number of people can unlock him right away. But if he is a Wheel of Fortune commander, I think he is a must use in this situation and really any capacity. If you are running any Archer March, you are using Philip II, 100%. So I want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear if you are planning on expertising him, who you think is going to pair the best with. I'll probably be making a couple more videos on him in the future. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll try to tailor them into my next video on Philip II and kind of see what you guys think and tailor that into my video. But thank you for checking out the video. Let me know what you think down below. Make sure you subscribe for more Rise of Kingdoms content. Have a great rest of your day.